Well, Lord, honey, children, how is everybody tonight? Tonight is December the 9th, and it's Wednesday night, and welcome into the Country Blaine Cooking Show. I hope y'all are having a wonderful Wednesday. I hope you're having a great day. It's been kind of warm here today in Kentucky, but it wasn't super warm, but it was nice and sunny. Actually, before Christmas, I just assumed it could snow for my part. And then after Christmas, it could get warm again. So tonight's show, we're going to be talking about candy again. You know, candy is one of those things that we all love at Christmas time. And I just love to make candy and cookies and pies and cakes and all that good stuff. But tonight, we're going to be making a candy that people call different things. Now, I know this ring light makes a funny thing in my glasses, and I'm sorry for that, honey children. But that's what holds all of our cameras, and that's what makes the beautiful glow on everything, honey child. So, alright, so don't forget that you can get tonight's recipe and all the other great recipes on southerncountryblane.com. This one will be posted shortly after the live on Instagram. And don't forget that we also have our donation button there to help No Child Hungry, because I hate to say it, but we always have hungry kids. And I feel like that this year it's going to be even more prevalent, that we're going to have even more hungry children. So if you can donate to No Kid Hungry, please do. And I have the little donation button there on Instagram Live. And if you're watching this on Facebook, which is the recorded video, you can go to nochildhungry.com and donate through there and help those little children out. So, and don't forget, you still can get your Country Bling apparel. You're still in time to order and get them by Christmas. So tonight I have on the barn, Merry Christmas, it says have a Merry Christmas, Country Christmas. I don't even know what's on my shirt, children. Lord mercy, honey. All right, so if you have questions, make sure you ask. We have Miss Lisa on the line, and she will ask and get through as many questions as we can as we go along. Now, tonight we're talking about peanut butter roll. Now, a lot of people call it potato candy. Some people call it just that peanut butter log. But I've always grown up knowing it as peanut butter roll, and it looks like a pinwheel when you cut it. And I'm going to show you the plain version, which is vanilla and peanut butter, and then I'm going to show you one that I've done that's got a little bit different twist on it. And the recipe tells you how to make that different twist, but I'm just going to show you a finished version of that. So, thank you all for tuning in to the Country Blaine Cooking Show. I hope you all are having a wonderful Wednesday. And honey children, let's jump on into this recipe, honey child, and get to it. And also, I want to tell you too, before we get started, don't forget to be watching my Instagram page and the Facebook page, because we have a Christmas giveaway coming up, and I want y'all to make sure that you get in on that. So, and don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the new YouTube channel that I have, make sure you do that. It's Country Blaine Cooking. So, make sure you do that, because you can get the full length, or you can get the videos of me cooking right there, and you can pause it if you're following along and then start again. So, alright, so let's get into this. So, this is my Country Blaine peanut butter roll. Now, I'm not using a tater in this. Some people start this recipe with a tater. But now, you all know me by now that I love butter. And honey child, I've been making it this way for years. Now, if you're allergic to peanut butter, you can use almond butter. If you, or sunflower butter, or you can use cashew butter. You can use any kind of nut butter in this recipe if you don't or can't have the peanut butter. Alright, so well, excuse me. In my mixer, I'm going to put butter. Now, the recipe is on southerncountryblane.com and will be up shortly after we get done with the video, so y'all can get the recipe there. I have butter in my mixer. Now, if you don't have a stand mixer, you can most certainly use a hand mixer for this. If you stir it by hand, honey children, be ready for some exercise, because I can tell you it takes a lot of stirring on this. Alright, so I'm going to get me a measuring cup over here. I forgot to get me one out. Lord, honey children, let's get us a measuring cup. Alright, so now I've got powdered sugar in this bowl, and we're going to add some vanilla to the butter, and then we're going to get that all good and fluffy, and then we'll move on. So I'm going to try not to, this is my television mixer because it's not as loud. My other mixer I use, she's newer and she's all powered up, ready to go, and she gets right on with it. So make sure not to forget, if you have a question, to please ask. We've got Miss Lisa online, and she'll ask us questions, and then we'll go on from there. Alright, so you just want a creamy butter and your vanilla together. And I've got that just about to where I want it. So I want to scrape down my bowl. And the reason why we scrape down our bowl is to get all the goodies off the side so it won't be left there when you get done with you mixing up, you see. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 1 cup of powdered sugar. In this recipe, it takes about 6 cups. But now, in different elevations and different levels of humidity, it may take more, it may take less. So that's why we add them in a cup at a time. But now here, I done one earlier today, and it took right at 6 cups of powdered sugar. So you just want your mixer on low, because if not, honey children, that mixer, if you turn her on high, she'll end up throwing this powdered sugar all over you. It'll look just like a Christmas ghost. When you start seeing that powdered sugar incorporated, then add another cup to it. And you can turn it up just a little bit, just to get the butter off the beaters, you know, because that butter wants to, oh Lord, see there what I'm saying? You turn her up high, honey, she'll fly right out of that bowl. She sure will. Alright, let's add us another cup, so that's 3. And remember, when you're measuring this, you want to measure out into a bowl, and you want to sift the powdered sugar first. It's okay if you don't, but it's better if you do sift it. Lock that mixer down there. And we're just going to keep adding powdered sugar until this comes to a dough consistency. It needs to be the consistency of, like, say, a bread dough or a dough that we're using for cinnamon rolls so that we can roll it out. Now we're going to add some more powdered sugar. And it's just all about adding the powdered sugar and watching it, how it comes together. You don't want to dump it all in there at once, honey children, because it may end up being too much and then it's dry, and then you got to go back and add a little bit more moisture. So, alright, now we're just going to keep adding our powdered sugar. I start with 6 cups. Sometimes it takes a little bit more. If it's humid outside or it's raining, it's going to take a little bit more. That is the perks of working with powdered sugar. You can take less if it's very dry. Question?
Do you prefer cake or pie?
So for dessert, do I prefer cake or pies? I am a super huge pie person. I love pies. I do like cakes, but I really, really love pies. I love to make pies. I love to eat pies. I love to fix pies to take to somebody else's house. I'm just a pie person. Now, I do love me a good piece of cake. But now, if I have a choice between pies and cakes, I'm going to take the pies every time. Question.
Favorite pie, favorite cake.
So the question is my favorite pie and my favorite cake. So my favorite pie would have to be a bacon butter pecan, bourbon pecan pie. Honey, they are to die for. And my favorite cake, I'd have to say, is like a pumpkin spice cake or even a carrot cake. I love both of those. So now we're just going to add the rest of our powdered sugar in here, which was just a teeny little bit. We'll get that out of the way there. And you just want to finish that last mix go around, and you all can see how it's coming together. Now, it'll look kind of crumbly, but say that twice. So it'll look a little bit crumbly when you first get it done, but this is the consistency you're looking for. You want this, when you squeeze it, that it holds together into a ball. So this is exactly where we want it to be. Let's get it all out of that beater. Now make sure you don't use the whisk attachment on this. You want to use the beater attachment or the paddle attachment, which is what we have here. Question?
If you had to pick one homemade Christmas candy, what would your favorite be?
So if I had to pick one homemade Christmas candy, it would have to be, Oh gosh, let me think. My favorite Christmas candy of all time is peanut butter fudge. I could eat my weight in peanut butter fudge. I love me a good fudge, but when it comes to peanut butter fudge, honey children, I just can't leave it alone, let me tell you. Alright, so now you can see that we have our dough in here. Now this will make 2 peanut butter rolls, is what this will make. Now, I'm going to show y'all one. So you want to take 2 pieces of wax paper, and you want to lay one down, and we want to take half of this mixture, and we're going to put it right in the middle, and then we're going to make it into a ball. Question?
What's your choice for a pie crust?
So the question is, what's my choice for a pie crust? I love a good short crust, so I always usually make a pie crust that is just a flaky pie dough. Like you can use a pâte sablé or you can use a pâte sucré, but I just love a flaky pie dough, which is just plain flour, ice cold vodka, and butter. So you put your flour into the food processor and some butter and pulse it till it looks like cornmeal, and then you drizzle in with the food processor running ice cold vodka. It usually takes about 3 to 5 tablespoons until it comes to a ball, and then you pat it out into 2 discs, place it in the refrigerator for an hour, and then take it out and roll it out, and it'll be the perfect pie dough that you've ever had in your life. And you can find that recipe on my website at southerncountryblend.com. And you never know, when it gets to pie night, I may show you all how to make the crust too. Alright, so now that we have our disc of dough, we just want to take another piece of wax paper and lay over the top. And all the wax paper does, guys, is it helps you roll out the dough. And you just want to make sure that this dough is rolled out to it's about in between a quarter and a half inch thickness. And you just want to roll it. Now you want to move your paper and turn it, because we'd really like this to be a triangle, we'd really like this to be a rectangle, but now it's not always going to be a rectangle. You may end up with a huge square or something like that. Question?
Have you made or have you eaten shoe-fly pie?
So the question is, have I ever made or have I eaten shoe-fly pie? Yes. I have made shoe-fly pie, I have eaten shoe-fly pie, and it's kind of a cross between a pie and a cake together. It's probably it would be like, I like shoe-fly pie, but it would probably be like 4th or 5th on my list of pies. I love a good buttermilk pie. They're really good. I love a good old-fashioned sawmill lemon pie. They're real good. I like those in the spring. I love a good pumpkin pie or a good Cushaw pie. We talked about Cushaw pies here one night in Cushaws on the Country Blend Cooking Show. I just love all kinds of pies, and one of my favorite things is the meringue. And I don't do a traditional meringue. I use the 7-minute frosting meringue, and that way it doesn't weep, because a lot of meringues will weep on pies, and that just creates a watery like consistency on top of the pies. And the way that I do my 7-minute meringue is like my 7-minute frosting, but I use it on pies, and that way it doesn't weep. I'm going to show the 7-minute meringue in a show coming up, so make sure that you tune in for that, because you can use it on cakes or pies. So we just want to keep rolling this until we get it to the thickness that we're looking for, and you can see it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you want it, and you can feel it across with your hand like this, and you can feel where it may be thick or that it's thin, so that way you can get in there and feel where you need it to be rolled a little bit. Listen, this is a workout. I love to roll my own pie doughs and doughs like this, and roll out cinnamon roll dough, and it's a workout, honey children. After you eat all this stuff, you got to have a little bit of workout. Alright, so now I've got it to that thickness that I want, and I'm just going to take this and turn it around here. Come on, work with me, children, work with me. Alright, you just want to peel off that top layer of wax paper, and you want to save this because this becomes your bottom piece for your next one with your next dough. Or you can roll it up in it. Now, we're going to take a 1/2 cup of peanut butter or any nut butter of your choosing, And we're going to put it right here on this. And if you want more peanut butter, that's fine. But the recipe's wrote for a half a cup. That's just a hair bit more than a half a cup. And you just want, and I'm using my offset spatula. If you don't have one, you can do it with a spoon here. You can do it with a kitchen spatula. And you just want to smooth that peanut butter out into a thin, even, nice layer. Now, Miss Lisa asked me earlier, she said, oh, I thought the filling on this had like powdered sugar and stuff in the peanut butter. It's just straight peanut butter. If you like crunchy peanut butter, you can use crunchy peanut butter here. I like the smooth peanut butter simply because it's easier to cut once it's set. Or actually, I like almond butter in this. I love cashew butter. I love all kind of nut butters. I get sometimes sunflower seed butter, and it's really good. But you can use any kind of nut butter that you like if you're allergic to peanuts or have kids or somebody that you're going to take this to is allergic to peanuts, then you most definitely can make this out of a different kind of nut butter. So I just have a nice even coat of peanut butter across my dough here, across my sugar dough. Now here comes the fun part. Now guys, you can roll this from either side. This is the short ends, this is the long ends. You're better off to roll it from the long ends because you're going to be able to get more pieces. If you want a bigger piece, then you roll it from the short end. You'll get less pieces, but it'll be a bigger round piece. But you just take your dough. I'll do it this way so y'all can see it. So you just take your wax paper and turn over the edge of your dough onto the peanut butter on this starting point here. Then you want to take the edge of the wax paper and you want to lift it and push. So you're lifting and pushing at the same time. It's almost like you're making cinnamon rolls. When you roll up cinnamon rolls, this is the same technique that we use for that. And you want to pull it. Now, if you see that your dough is sticking a little bit, you can always take a little bit of powdered sugar and you can sprinkle right along that dough just to get it not to stick for you. But that's why we use the wax paper, is because it keeps it from sticking. And then the wax paper also allows us to roll it really easy. And you just keep rolling until you get it all the way to the end, and then you flip it back over on itself and pat it down a little bit. And then all I do is, see, I've got my roll, see how nice and smooth and even it is. The best part is, though, the ends, when you cut them off when you're ready, that's the ones for the cooks. That way you get to taste it for anybody else. So you just want to take it in the same wax paper and roll it up. And you want to crimp those ends of wax paper real close and just crimp it like that. Just like looks like a big saltwater taffy roll, don't it? So now what you want to do once you get it to there is you want to put it into the refrigerator for at least an hour, because that will set that butter and it'll be easier to slice. So we just put that in the refrigerator. Now I have one that is already set, and let's talk about knives on cutting this. So when you're cutting this, I started to say sweet tater roll. When you're cutting this peanut butter roll, a serrated knife is the best. And you all can see the knife that I'm using here. This is just a Rata tomato slicer, and it's serrated on the edges. That's the edge. This is the knife I like to cut it with. I could use a chef's knife, but a chef's knife wants to push through, and therefore it kind of takes away from the roll effect, because it starts pushing the dough down in through it. So I like a serrated knife. So I just have my cutting board here. Now this is what it looks like when it comes out of the refrigerator. It looks just like that right there. And you can see that it is all, looks so good. It looks so good. So I'm gonna lay my piece of wax paper right over here so I can lay my ends on it. Now you just want to go back and forth real lightly and real slow and cut the ends off. And I cut into it about, oh, you all can see there, until, you know, that's the ugly end. That's for us cooks to eat, you know, so it's not one of those pieces that you would put out. So you just want to cut these in about 1/2 inch thickness, as you can see, 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch thickness. Now you can do this and you can cut the whole roll, and you just do a slight sawing motion and it'll go right down through there. And I love to have a little towel right next to me so I can wipe off my blade every time I slice. And that way I get a good clean slice every time I go through it. Now, this recipe says that it'll feed 24 to 26. That just depends on whether you like peanut butter roll or not. I know people that could eat half this roll by themselves. This is a very fun candy. It's a very easy candy. It's a no-cook candy. Question?
Have you ever used a chocolate nut butter or hazelnut butter?
So the question is, have we ever used a chocolate nut butter or hazelnut butter on this? And you can most definitely use that. You can use, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's a chocolate hazelnut butter that you can use on this. It'll do the same thing.
Nutella.
Nutella. You can use that in here the same way as you do the peanut butter. And honey, it is so good. All of it is so good. All right, so now that we just go through and we cut that, I'm going to show you one that I cut earlier. And you can see there the roll, and I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to show this up close for you, the roll in it, if I can keep it. And you can see how, well, let's get her up there right, honey. See that beautiful roll in here? You can see the peanut butter swirl. You can see the white confectionery swirl. Isn't that beautiful? So you just want to cut those, and you want to place them on a nice platter. And if you're not eating them or serving them at a party the same day that you make these, you don't have to cut them till you're ready to serve it. Or you can cut these and just saran wrap your plate, and then it's ready to go for whenever your party is. Or if you're just having this at Christmas. Yes, question.
What did you combine with the powdered sugar?
So we start with, oh, that's a perfect cross cut there. So we start with butter and vanilla. It's just room temperature butter, very soft, and powdered sugar. And then we roll it out and we spread the peanut butter or any nut butter or Nutella on it and roll it up. And then after you let it set to make it easier to cut, this is what you get. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so question.
Do you have to keep the roll in the refrigerator?
So the question is, do you have to keep the roll in the refrigerator? You don't have to once that it's set up. I would keep it in the refrigerator simply because it's made with butter. And you don't want that butter. I mean, you can leave butter out for a long periods of time and it's not going to hurt you. But the thing is if you leave it out, it gets super, super soft. So it's like biting into almost a melted fudge almost. So you really want to keep it in the refrigerator, but you don't absolutely have to. If you have a cooler room in your house, like say in your dining room or somewhere like that, you can most definitely cut it, put it in a container. You can cut these, lay them down in a container, put wax paper sheets between each layer, keep them in a cool room, and you'll be fine. But I usually keep mine in the refrigerator. Now here's one that I done earlier, and this is a new take on it. This is a chocolate peanut butter. So to this, what I've done, and you all can see the swirls of peanut butter and chocolate in there. Ooh, honey, I'm telling you what. So this is the traditional, and the chocolate is the new. So all you do on it is you add your cocoa powder to the powdered sugar, and as you're adding it, then the cocoa powder is mixing in there well. And the recipe that will be on SouthernCountryBling.com shortly will also tell you the amount and all of that you need for the cocoa powder if you want to make the chocolate peanut butter roll. But I just want you all to see that this candy, this is an old favorite. Used to be called tater candy or potato candy or peanut butter log. We call it peanut butter roll. Silky, smooth. That little bit of vanilla in there really comes through and makes it even more homemade, down home feeling. Creamy peanut butter. I'm telling you, it's the perfect bite on a Christmas candy. And most people think that this is super sweet simply because of all the powdered sugar. It's not super sweet. It has a little bit of sweetness to it, but it's not like knock your teeth out sweet. So now let's take a bite of the chocolate peanut butter roll. It's hard for me to pick which one I like the best. The chocolate peanut butter roll, you get a little bit just a hint of that chocolate and then that peanut butter and that creamy balance of the dough with that butter and the vanilla in there. Listen, it's like eating a very, very nice peanut butter cup on that chocolate. It's not super chocolatey, but if you like it really, really chocolatey, then double the cocoa powder in it. But the traditional is the white peanut butter roll. And I can tell you right now, not many people in the South ever see this on a tray that they don't know what it is. And if you're not from the South and you've never had this candy, then honey, you're in for a treat when you make this. I can't wait to see you all make it. So listen, I got to have me another piece. It's good. Question while I'm eating my roll, we'll ask questions.
Rebecca wants to know if you can say happy birthday to her sister Amanda.
Rebecca, honey, I would most definitely do that. Amanda, I hope you have the bestest birthday ever. Honey, have somebody make you some of this peanut butter roll for your birthday and just put a candle in there. I hope you have a Lord honey of a birthday. Have some cake and ice cream, maybe a shot of bourbon and a piece of bacon. I guarantee it'll be a great birthday. You have an awesome, awesome birthday. Well, thank you all so much. And thank you all for donating to No Kid Hungry. I see that we have several people that's donated. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for donating to these kids. And I know these kids will absolutely be tickled to death. And I know that No Child Hungry thanks you as well. Listen, don't forget, get this recipe for my Country Bling peanut butter roll and all the other great recipes on our website at southerncountryBling.com. Make sure you check out the new YouTube channel at Country Bling Cooking without the G on the end. And make sure to keep a watch on Instagram and Facebook pages for a wonderful Christmas giveaway coming up soon. If you haven't registered for your newsletter yet, if you're not on there, make sure that you register. December's is going out. Could be tonight. So you want to make sure you register for that. Get your Country Bling apparel to celebrate your holidays and Christmas. And guys, remember, it's homemade. It's made with love. And Lord, honey, it's oh so good. Don't forget to tune in next week right here on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. It'll be another great Christmas treat that I guarantee that you don't want to miss. I'll see y'all soon and love ya. Make sure you stay good. Make sure you stay safe. Make sure you wash your hands. And honey, make sure you're always on Santa's good list. I'll see y'all later and I love you. Bye.